Welcome, friends. This is Pool Splash Party. Now, this is an on-your-own problem, so you should have solved this entire problem here. And now you have it all on your paper, and you're just going to watch to see how it's solved. If you make any mistakes, no worries. Fixing your mistakes is the fastest way to learn, so just fix any mistakes you make. So here we go. Here is the scenario. You are invited to a pool splash party at your friend's house. Your friend has become famous because she dips her head in the water and then flings her hair back. Her photos are all over the internet, just like this one right here. And you can't wait to watch her do her hair fling thing. In order to get from your house to her pool, you will need to walk 1.5 miles to the bus stop. Then you'll need to ride the bus another 2 5/8 miles before you can reach your home. So what you've got here is you've got 1.5 miles that you need to walk, and then you've got to ride the bus another 2 5/8 miles. So let's go ahead and solve this problem. First, I'm going to illustrate the 1.5 miles. So I'm going to grab a little box here, and I'm going to make a box that represents 1 mile, right? And then I'm going to grab another box, and for this box I'm going to make it empty, and this is going to represent the 1/2 mile. Now if I have two parts, that means I'm going to draw one line right down the center, and now I simply color in one of these parts, so I have 1/2. I'm going to just make that a little bit bigger here. There we go. Okay, so now I want to draw the 2 5/8. So I'm going to shrink this a little bit, and I'm now going to add one here and a second one here, and then I need to make one that is empty so I can draw my lines in there. And if it is, if we have 8 as a denominator, that means I'm going to draw 7 lines to create 8 parts. I'm going to enlarge this so it's easier to draw my lines, and I'm going to draw 7 lines. So here we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That should give me 8 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Perfect. Now, as you see here, I get 5 out of those 8, right? So now I'm going to color in 5 of the 8. So I believe that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this is the 5. Let's double check here. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6, 7, 8. Next, I simply have to find my least common multiple. So I will use the 2 here and the 8 right there. And now I will count by 2s and see if I can find a common multiple. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and bingo, I've got it right there. These are both eighths. So for this fraction here, I don't have to do anything at all. It's already an eighth. For the top fraction, I gotta cut it into 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. 4 parts means that I am going to draw 3 lines, and I'm going to just enlarge this a little bit so it's easier to work with. And I'm going to draw 1, 2, and 3 lines, and now I have successfully changed both of these into eighths. So this is an eighth, and so is this. Actually, this is 4/8, and this is 5/8. So now I can actually count and find out my answer. I've got 1, and each of these boxes are representing a mile that you are traveling to your friend's house. So 1, 2, 3, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 9 eighths. So it's 3 and 9 eighths miles to your friend's house. So let's see if I can move that over a little bit, and then I'm going to add the 3 there. Now, the problem with this is that this is what we call an improper fraction. It means that the numerator is bigger than the denominator. I also call it a top-heavy fraction. So I can actually move some of these up here to create another hole here. And I'm going to do that by grabbing some of these. Now watch how I do this. I'm going to grab 4 from here, and I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll grab those 4 and erase them from there. And then I'm going to place them over here so that I've got all 4 of those closed up. Now, that gives me a 4th, whoops, I want to do that in black. That gives me a 4th hole. So I actually have these 4 right here plus this 1/8. So this is equal to 4 and 1/8. So let's go ahead and take a look at the algorithm. If you got any of this incorrect, please fix it now. This is a perfect time to do that. And we're going to move on. I'm going to draw a squiggly line and do my algorithm right over here. And I'm going to use a different color. I think I'll go red now. So I'm going to go 1 and 1/2. And I am adding the 2 and the 5/8. So this is our algorithm now. And the first thing I got to do is get common denominators, right? So when I do that by using my least common multiple, so for this 1 and 1/2, I'm going to multiply it by 1, 2, 3, 4. So the giant 1, whoops, I need to get my marker here, the giant 1 of 4/4. And that will give me a new fraction. The 1 comes straight across, and then right here, 1 times 4 is going to give me 4 over here for my numerator. And then 2 times 4 is going to give me 8 for my denominator, right? And then this one right here is already in 8, so I don't have to do anything to change this denominator because it's already in 8 and it is in common. So I'm going to just draw a little arrow here and bring this one straight across. And now I am ready to add. Now, the first rule and most important rule with adding or subtracting, in this case we're adding, fractions is that you've got to have a common denominator. Now, we do, and the denominator you do not add because that's just telling us how many parts this mile in this case, right? Because we're talking about how many miles it takes to get to this pool party. This mile is broken into 8 parts. So I'm not going to change that. I'm just going to write down that they're still cut into 8 parts. And then I do add my enumerators. 4 plus 5 is going to give me 9. And then I add my whole numbers. 1 plus 2 is going to give me 3. And as you see, my algorithm agrees with the answer we've got right here for our illustration, and that is wonderful. So if you made any mistakes here, go ahead and fix them on your algorithm. If not, we're ready to move ahead. And what we do need to notice is that this fraction right here is improper. It's top-heavy because we got a 9 bigger than the denominator of the 8. So once again, you can think of fractions in 3 ways: 9/8, 9 out of 8, or 9 divided by 8. And in this case, we are going to do the old 9 divided by 8. And that will go in there one time. Now, when I do that, 8 times 1 will give me 8, and I subtract, and I get 1 left over. So I put my remainder as the numerator, and then my denominator is the divisor, just comes straight up here. So I'm going to put the 8 there. So I've got 1 and 1/8 that I need to add to this 3 here, right? So 3 plus 1 is going to give me 4, and then now I have this new fraction of 1/8 instead of or 1/8 instead of the 9/8 because I turned this into 1 and 1/8. So I'm going to put 1/8 here, and this, as you see, agrees with our reduced or simplified form from the illustration. So that, my friends, is how you solve this problem. I hope you did a great job. Until next time, have a great day. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.